Hello everyone, welcome back to the Next channel. Today we are going to talk about the offense of defilement. This is something that will be a guide to victims. If you are a parent and then your child has been defiled, what do you have to do? What do you have to know? If you are someone who is going to stand in as a witness for someone who has been defiled, what do you have to know? And even if you have been accused of the crime of defilement, what do you have to know? What do you have to be aware of? What is the court looking for to see that, oh, we can convict you? What kind of punishment? What kind of care should we take in respect of a child who has been defiled? Now, when we talk about defilement simply means that having natural or unnatural carnal knowledge of a child who is less than 16 years. Now, carnal knowledge is just sex, maybe the one that you have with the penis and then the vagina. Then the unnatural carnal knowledge is usually equated to the anal sex, the anus, right? Or anus, however you call it. So now, if anybody has sex with a child who is less than 16 years, then it does not matter if the child agreed to it. That will still be defilement. So it doesn't matter if the child said, you and the child are girlfriend, boyfriend, it does not matter. It does not matter. So for us, it is established that the child is less than 16 years. It means that child cannot say yes to sex. And so immediately you have any form of sex, whether anal or whether the usual way, then that will amount to defilement. The law says that if you have sex with a child who is less than 16 years, we have to give you a minimum of 7 years in prison and a maximum of 25 years in prison. So take note. Immediately we say that, oh, this person is guilty of defilement. He or she had sex with a child, whether a male or a female, who is less than 16 years. The judge has no option than to give a punishment from 7 years and above. The judge cannot give 6. The judge cannot give 5. It would be against the law to do that. Now, when we are in court, how do we prove defilement? Number one, you have to show that the child is less than 16 years. How do you show this? Birth certificate is there. If you have weighing card records of the child, we can use that. And sometimes there's school records of the child who has been defiled. And so in case your child has been defiled, then you have to present this information to the police for them to know that, oh, it's true, this child is below 16 years. Because immediately the child is more than 16 years, then we'll ask questions that, oh, did she agree? Did he agree to the sex? Because that one, the child is more than 16 years. But then when they are less than 16 years, then that one, it doesn't matter if the child agreed to it or not. So please take note and provide this information concerning the age of the child to the police so that they can assist you. Now, you also have to prove that there was sexual intercourse between the child and then the offender. Now, how do you show that there was sex? Usually, there is nobody there to witness it. Sometimes, if someone goes to meet the act, then it is fine. But usually, there is nobody there to see it. And so, the child's record of what happened is very important. The child will have to see what actually happened. Then, the police will give her a medical form to go to the hospital for medical report. What the child tells the doctor is very important as well. And then the doctor will examine the child's body part, the vagina or the anus or wherever it is, and find if there has actually been an insertion there. And so you have to know that it is good for you to go to the police as early as possible. Immediately your child talks about it. You also have to go to the hospital as early as possible, because if it delays, it may be difficult for the doctor to find out that there was actually sexual intercourse of a kind with the child. Now listen, before you actually go to the police or the doctor, you have to speak to your child. The child is below 16 years, so there are a lot of things that goes on their mind. Sometimes they are traumatized, and so sometimes they are unable to actually recall everything that has actually happened. So you have to sit down with them and talk to them. Don't make them feel ashamed. Sometimes we actually punish them. Sometimes we make them feel ashamed for something like that has happened to them. But they are less than 16 years. You don't expect a less than 16-year-old child to take full responsibility of an adult who has actually had sexual intercourse with them. So here, you talk to your child, you side them, you have them know that, you know what, we are here for you and we are here to help you. We are not here to make you feel like you have been abandoned or disgraced. Some parents go about telling the whole world, and they have done this to the child, so the child feel ashamed, shy, they are unable to actually step out and speak up for themselves. But you have to let them be confident that, you know, my mother is not making me feel like the fault is mine. My mother is not making me feel like I'm a bad girl, but they're actually going to help me so that the adult person who did the wrong will be punished in accordance with law. So you have to speak to your child and side the child. No, it doesn't mean that you have to feed the child with wrong information, but let them be confident and comfortable to speak for themselves. Now, after they have recounted everything that happened to you, you take them to the police station, you be with them, stay with them, let them feel comfortable so they'll be able to recall everything that they have actually told you. They have to be consistent. When there are lies in what they are saying, sometimes it weakens the case that they are making. Because one moment you are saying you are taking to the bathroom, another moment you're taking to the bedroom, you're saying too many things, it may confuse the issue. So make sure the child is in the right frame of mind. It's not a case where you say, let's settle at home. Let's go to the Omahene or the chief and settle it. Then you take some money. You think that it is going to help the child or anything, but it is going to victimize the child forever. They are going to say, oh, so something as bad as this happened to me when I was 13 years. And my parents just went to settle it over 1,000 cedis or 2,000 cedis. Let there be justice. Let the child know that, you know what, this has been settled. They have gone and the adult has been punished because if that is not done, then this adult will go about victimizing a lot of children and defiling them again, even having sex with them without the parents' consent or anything. The child is young. That is the reason why we say that it doesn't matter even if the child agrees. Every child should be able to be a child without any adult forcing them or going to have sex with them when the parents are not aware of it. So please don't go and settle at the police station or the chief's palace. It is not helping. It is not helping at all. The child grows up with this forever and it is not helpful. So also remember that the law tries to protect the child at all costs. Her details are not really supposed to be outside for people to talk about it and mention the child's name. And though this child has been raped and all, we try to keep the name as secret as possible. So if you, the parent, does not grant interview and mention the child's name, maybe in the court, you may not even give out the information to other persons. When the child comes to give evidence, we don't put the child in open courts to come and testify for everybody to see. No. Sometimes we hide the child in the private chambers of the court so that the child will give the evidence from there, so that people will not see the child, so that they will victimize it. In Ghana, there are a lot of stigma for even victims of defilement and rape and all of that. And so we try as much as possible to protect the victims. So we don't put them out for people to victimize them or to stigmatize them. And so please, in case your child has been defiled in any way or has been indecently assaulted in any way, please don't take it upon yourself to be going out, to be telling people about this has happened, this has happened. Go to the appropriate places, report to the appropriate place, DOFSU, the police station. They will take you through the process. They will take the child statement, they will take the adult statement, they will take information on the child, her school, and all of that. They will arrest the person and they'll go through the normal process. Good that you report early to the police station, but sometimes a child may delay in informing you. It does not mean that because of that delay, the case is bad and you cannot report to the police. You can still report to the police. Immediately the child makes you know that, please, this and this has happened to me. Report to the police station as early as you receive the information. But don't say that just because the child has delayed maybe in 10 days or 8 days or 20 days, it means that now if I go to the police, it may not be a good case. Please report to the police station. It can still be a good case even if the child reports that late. So far as you reported to the police, immediately you heard it. Children are bound to keep the information quiet for some time. But then, as soon as they can and they inform you, please inform somebody about it. And then there are people who are in charge of a premise or a house or a place, and they allow children who are less than 16 years to be defiled on their premises. You are in charge, maybe you are in charge of a hostel or a room or somewhere, a place that you have charge of, and you allow a child who is less than 16 years to be defiled, to go through sex with an adult. The law says that your punishment is also between 7 years and 25 years, like the person who actually defiled the child. The only defense that you can give is that, oh, you didn't know that the child was 16 years, or maybe take note that children are very, very fragile. And so immediately you get to know of the defilement, even as you have reported to the police, please get a therapist for the child. There are some things that you may think it is nothing because during those days, nobody cared about it. These days, children think a lot about a lot of things. Get a therapist for them, a counselor. Let them speak to a counselor. Let them know that, you know what, it was not your fault. It is the fault of the adult person. It is not a shame on you, and that shame will not forever be with you. Never. It will not be a shame on you, and it cannot follow you for the rest of your life that you have been defiled. So that they can be able to forgive themselves and forgive the other person and even move on. If not, that thing may be on them and it will follow them forever, and it will be a big issue for their sexual life, even for their academics and for their social life. They become timid. They know that if they go to somebody, they will be treated bad and all of that. So please, therapy is so important. Don't underestimate it. And remember that if you are the one whose child has been defiled, the police is your lawyer. So you, the prosecution or the police or the lawyer for the government who is doing the case for you, is your lawyer. So you have to give him or her the information so that you're able to help you with the case. Give them the information. If you don't give them the proper information, they will not know what to look out for. You tell them what happened, you give them the evidence as to the age of the child, and you give them the proper details. Now, when you go to the court and they are asking you questions, you have to answer the questions confidently because you know the case, you remember the facts, you know what actually happened. Don't be timid or shy. I know it is possible, but please don't be. Give your evidence properly in a way that anybody listening to you will believe that this story is true. And please, don't force your children to mention somebody's name, because eventually these children come out there and tell us that, oh, my mother said I should say that it is this person. Yeah. And sometimes you make the mistake, your child is less than 16 years and the child is pregnant, and because of that, oh, the guy will take care of the child. So because of that, you don't report them. That is something wrong that you are doing against a child. One day, they will grow up, they will know what is right, they will watch a video like this and they will never forgive you for not reporting the guy. So please, I know you may have some questions. I know that I may not be able to exhaust all the things that you need to know, but please watch out for this. Take care of yourself, take care of your children, open up to your children so that they can also open up to you, so that we can protect the little children that we have in our spaces. We'll end here. Until we meet again, please take care and have a very, very good time. Bye. Bye.